Hi everyone. I hope everything is working fine. Today I'm not really sure. I don't know why OBS gave me a warning on the session. Hope that everything is working fine. Tell me if my voice sounds good, the music is too loud, and everything is working fine. The image is working well, and everything is okay for you. I'm checking the chat. Looks like your messages arrives to my restream window, so looks like everything is okay. Hola a todo el mundo. Hi everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Carlota is saying that everything is working. Perfect. Glad to know it. And so let's see. Let's see. Hopefully everything is going smooth and well. I'm fine. Okay, you don't hear any music? Maybe the music is too low. I prefer to work with a bit of music. Let's see now. Because here, I don't know, the volume, at what number I have the volume of the music. Yeah. Yeah, the music is, you are listening to music, right? Okay, I apologize if I don't read your names well. So sometimes the name that you are using as nicknames on your profile, they are quite strange to pronounce, so to say. But anyway, I really appreciate that you are here watching my stream. And thanks to everyone. For all of you that don't know who I am, or this is the first time that it's going to watch my stream, I have to say that I'm a digital sculptor, mostly focused on jewelry design. Most of the work that I do, maybe I can say 80% or maybe 70% of the commissions that I'm doing are related for jewelry designs. So you can visit my website. I'm gonna show you my website. You can go to uh, to check out my work and let me know what do you think. So nachoriesco.com. Here you can see some of my works here under the galleries tab, digital renders, or some samples about the casting, 3D printing, and 3D printing processes. You already have our resources part where you can download some of my material that I sell on the net, alphas, keyshot materials. I use keyshot for rendering. And here inside of tutorial, you will find some of the tutorial that I did on my YouTube channels. I need to update this page because there are only 4 and I have more. You go, there are more, maybe another 4, maybe I guess, but okay, just check them out and let me know what do you think about the the videos that I have here. Okay. So of course, here on my website, here you have the links for all of my social media web pages. Here you can go to my YouTube channels. You can see that you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. All of the stuff that I have here is mostly related for jewelry design. So where how to create a skull ring. This videos I was explaining how to create a relief from scratch. And for example, here you can visit my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Pinterest board, my Twitter, my LinkedIn links. So here you have everything. If you want to know more about me and about my work. Okay, let's remove this here. Let's put it here and again, you can type your question on the chat. I will try to pay attention as more as I can during when I am working to know what you're asking, and I will try to give you all the answers. And you can ask me question about the work that I'm gonna do today, or you can ask me question about all the stuff or any other techniques about the ZBrush. No, doesn't matter. I am streaming from home. Yes, yes. I have my studio at my home. Yeah. So keep creating. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Carlota is saying that she loves the material that I have, that I share with Keyshot material related for jewelry design, the metals, the gold, silver, and so on. Thank you very much. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you like them. It's quite a long time that I don't make new ones. I only have maybe three packets. Only here you go to my ArtStation. You can see artstation.com/Nacho Riesco. Here I have a small store where you will find this pack for metals, different kind of metals. And here I have another pack. This is more related for jewelry. This is gold, raw silver, and different kind of patinas of almost the same material with different kind of finishing, lighter or darker. So you can grab them here. Go into my ArtStation webpage site and clicking on the store. Here you will find these two packs. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit unplugged from Keyshot because lately I don't make too many renders, but I need to make some new materials, I think. X Music 112 is asking all your models almost completed in ZBrush only? Yeah. Except rendering, of course. The only tool that I use is ZBrush. I don't have any knowledge about any other 3D modeling software or CAD jewelry software. So all the stuff that I do, all the commission that I do is within ZBrush, 100%. The only tool that I use as an external application, I use Mesh Mixer. It's a free software from Autodesk. I use this little software for hollow out the pieces to make them lighter. I love the way that the Autodesk Mesh Mixer has to make things hollow. This is the only external application that I use outside of ZBrush. The rest, 100%, is made inside of ZBrush. Okay, we are almost 70 persons. Well, there are a lot of people here watching to me. Let's see what I'm doing. So for today, what I have planned for today's stream and for next week's stream, I'm gonna try to finish this pendant within 2 days. I'm gonna try it at least, maybe 3 days, no more, because that's the reason why I already have some things already made. So I'm gonna explain to you how I did the base mesh for the snake, or how I did the base mesh for the head or for the apple. But I'm gonna start from this point. So I'm gonna make a quick overview about how I made what you are watching on this on my ZBrush. But the idea is to go a little faster, or if you have any questions, how I did anything that you are watching now on my screen, we can go there and we can start from there explaining how I did this or that. But the day is starting from here and start taking a stepping forward. The main idea is how to build or how to create the snake and the snake skin, the scales pattern, flowing on the curves. That's the idea of this today's stream. But anyway, you have a question about how I did the body or the leaf or even the chain, you can ask it to me. The okay, excuse me, wait a minute. I have to answer one message. Okay, so here I have a collection of inspiration that I had for making this pendant. And the inspiration, the idea came from this tattoo. I saw this tattoo googling on the internet, and I thought that could be a very cool pendant or a piece of jewelry. And the main idea of today's stream is how to grab or how to um, uh, transform a drawing, or in this case a tattoo, an illustration, whatever, and convert it into a jewelry piece. So we are going to take into account the wearability, how it's going to hang from on the chains, the weight of the piece, or maybe we are going to add some stones. Here I have in mind to add the stones here, mostly on the lips. And the idea is to talk with a stone carver and carve this piece on with redstone, trying to send this to a stone carver, and maybe he can carve this stone maybe in garnet or maybe a ruby, or I don't know, maybe I need to think about it. But the idea is to having this and making, of course, the snake in metal, and the way that the snake is gonna hold the stone, and I still think about it, and I think that I'm gonna need to talk with a stone setter, or with a professional jeweler, with or not with only one, with many of them, maybe some of friends, to know which is gonna be the best way that the snake is gonna hold the stone. It's gonna keep the stone in place. Maybe it's my idea. The idea that I have now is that the stone is going to squeeze. It's going to hold the stone just with pressure. But I don't know if it's going to be necessary to add some kind of prongs or to make the stone set a little bit safer. But I think in my opinion, is not going to be necessary. But anyway, I think that I'm going to need to talk with a jeweler, with the person who is going to be in charge for the stone curve. But that's the idea. That's the idea. And the main idea is to transform any illustration or any drawing from an idea, in this case from a tattoo work or from a drawing or an illustration, and transform it into a jewelry piece. One of the things that I like the most of this picture is the that the snake is not facing you when you are I don't know how to pronounce really this word. It's when you're wear or wear. I don't know how to say it. It's to wear when what the pendant is gonna hold in your chest. The snake is not facing at the front, so it's facing at the person who is wearing the pendant. That looks to me very cool idea. And of course, the idea of to combine hand carved stone with precious metals. In this case, maybe it's gonna work with yellow gold, maybe in silver. I don't know. I still need to think about it. But from this point, this isn't just only a sketch. And as you can say, you can see is that I have some ideas, but is I think I still need to develop a little bit the design. But I think it's almost ready, because in terms of the curvature of the curves of the snake, I think I'm not going to touch it anymore. I'm going to show you the different steps that I took till I arrived to this point. But another thing that I like is the way that the snake is going to hang, because it's like here I put here a loop on the chain. It's like the loop is hanging the snake. So I'm not gonna add any kind of welding weld bail or whatever. That's the idea. This is the idea that I liked. Is just to put here a big bail or a big loop here. Then you can pass the chains through the bail. So it looks like the snake is hanging from this point. Looks. I think it gives to it gives to it a little bit a bit more realism. Okay. So I'm gonna explain to you first, quickly, from where I started from. So when I create the snakes, I'm gonna load the image here inside of my texture. I'm gonna drop it here on the canvas to leave it here visible. Like this, small. Turn this off. So every time that any commission that I have related to the snakes, most of the time, maybe I can say 90% of the times, I started from C-spheres. The C-spheres allows to me to achieve a better flow of the body of the snake. There are some other ways, like the curved tube snap, for example. If we start from this brush, this is a brush that I use very often. The curved tube snap. You can find it here inside of the brushes. Inside, I'm gonna grab a plain 3D. Gonna convert it into make poly mesh. If you get into the brushes, you will find it with C. You will find it. Where are you? Go to curved tube snap. This brush. So starting from, you can make snake's body with this brush very quickly. So you just to be drawing the curve, and then there you go. You have the base mesh to start from, to start making your snake body. But in this case, as the body is not flowing only in one axis, so it needs to work as well from the sides, from one side and from another side, and of course from the top and from the bottom. I think that the most useful way to start making snakes is using C-spheres. So I started adding some C-spheres. So I started from just making the apple shape like this. I start dropping different C-spheres and start playing with them till getting the nice flow for the pendant. Of course, if you are trying to convert, in this case, an illustration and a tattoo into a jewelry piece, it's not necessary just to copy the exact flow of the drawing. Of course, you need to start thinking about the wearability, and of course the weight and many other things when you are creating jewelry pieces. So this is just an inspiration. So then you need to put your mind working and start thinking about the jewelry piece. So it's like a kind of transition. What I mean is it's not necessary just to copy exactly what you are watching. So this is just an idea, because if I transform, you can see here a little bit this portion of the body to allow to put in here the loop, and with the double coil here, when it's creating, I'm gonna open my Epic Pen tool, but I like to draw when I am explaining. Red, for example. Here you have a little S. When you are here, we are going to have different contact points. I'm going to try to hold the stone only with the body of the snake. I'm going to try to avoid to add any prongs. Let's see if it works. And watching from the side, the same thing. So here we are getting another S here. And here we have the different contact points from the back and front, and from the front view, top and bottom. So I started from CSphere. I think that it's not going to be necessary to start explaining how the CSphere works. It's a quite old tool of ZBrush. I think many of you, or most of you, or all of you already know how the CSphere works. So. Link is asking, can this be a paid tutorial? I think this is going to be a tutorial itself. I think you can watch it after the stream as many times as you want, because I'm going to try to explain this as a tutorial. So this is the first step. This is okay. The CSpheres. This is the second step. I'm gonna hide this. This is a one part. I'm gonna turn this on. The music is good, right? It's not too loud, right? Maybe I'm listening to maybe a bit loud on my headphones. I just got here. I missed it. Now, don't worry, because you're gonna be able to rewatch or watch it again on YouTube and maybe on Twitch, or inside of you will find all of my previous streamings. If you go to the Pixologic website, you can go to the community, you can go to ZBrush Live. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, and you can go to presenters. Of course, here I am. If you go to presenters, you can scroll down here almost at the bottom, and here I am. So clicking on my face. So here you will find my previous streams. So you will find here a collection of all of my streams. So you will find the stream of today here, the next. Or you can go to the YouTube channel, to Pixologic. If you go direct to the Pixologic website, YouTube channel, clicking on Pixologic. So if you go to the recent streams here, upcoming live stream or recent streams, you will find my videos here. So don't worry, you are not going to lose to the tutorial or the live of today. Thank you very much. You are beginning, and this is difficult trying to see all the two. Yeah. At the beginning, I understand that ZBrush it has a lot of tools, a lot of way to do different, almost the same thing. Many things to learn. Many things to learn. I know. I can understand, but it is that's the reason why ZBrush Pixologic is very useful. The way that they try to teach people. Or you can go to learn ZBrush. Okay, you can go to the community again. If you go to ZBrush Live here, you will find a bunch of many video tutorials or live streamings where you are gonna learn many different stuff from many different artists. Or again, if you go to its YouTube channel, you will find there a lot of information. It's time to learn. Hello, Elvis. Elvis 75K. Jerizard, hello, welcome. And okay, let's stop talking and start working. Okay, this is the first step that I took. So I went from here to here, from here to here. So you know, just when you already have your C-sphere chain, you can go to adaptive skin. And one thing that I recommend, or this is my way of working, I don't like to convert the C-spheres directly into Dynamesh. I prefer to set this value, Dynamesh resolution, to 0 to avoid to transform the mesh from the C-spheres directly into a Dynamesh. So make it a data skin, and then you will get here a skin of the. So you can start, for example, you can divide it, and from this point you can start playing with the shapes or with the curves. When you're creating your C-sphere chain, you don't have to be too much worried about the curves, because you can see here the curves, they are not perfect. So you can see here you have a kind of corner here. So they are not perfect. Is the C-spheres chain are built as a connecting point. So you have one sphere, another sphere, and you are connecting spheres. So it's not necessary to spheres. It's not necessary to make it completely rounded, adding too many C-spheres, because then you can work this once you have the mesh. So if I can go here again, adaptive skin. I have an issue here. Maybe let's see what is happening here with this. Maybe something is strange here if I try to remove. Something is going on here. I don't know why. Maybe this looks like something wrong with because this is the root sphere. I can't remove this one. But it looks like for any reason it's rotated. It hasn't the same orientation. But I can't rotate it. I can, even if I make it smaller. Okay. No problem. Maybe if I try to put it here. There is an issue here with my C-sphere chains. I don't know where is the mistake. Here I have 1, 2, 3. Maybe a sphere is hidden anywhere. Or if I set the Dynamesh to no. Okay, this time I'm not gonna try to rebuild it again from scratch, because if not, I'm gonna waste a lot of time trying to find where is the mistake, but I think is related to the rotation of this sphere. You can see it's rotated, but I don't know why I can't rotate it. Okay, no problem. So it's like a piece. This is gonna be a necklace, yes, a pendant. Yes, this is today. I'm gonna. Jaime Herrera is asking how I'm going to add the scales. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna explain to you the process that I use. As most of the cases, when I create this snake scales, I make it. I create my custom tileable pattern. I'm gonna explain to you how I do it, and the subsequent process UV map, UV coordinates, UV mapping, and noise maker. This is gonna be the process very quickly, but I'm gonna explain to you step by step. What if you click rotate on top left corner and rotate the sphere? Top left corner. I think that it's an issue related to the rotation of the sphere. I know, but I don't know why it doesn't allow me to rotate. I'm gonna add this scan here to 0. This is maybe an issue related to the rotation of the first sphere. Anyway, okay, I will need to check it out, but not now. Maybe it's something wrong, but I can't remove this sphere because it's the original sphere, it's the root sphere. Okay, never mind. So let's come back to the second part. Right, yeah, and this is the noise. Surface noise is a feature that I love to use inside of ZBrush. I love to use it, and of course, with the snakes, this is going to be very useful. So this is, you can see here the progression. This is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is, I'm going to show you. This is the first one. This is the second one, and this is the third one. Of course, I started from one, that it was this one. I'm gonna undo it. I leave it as it was, like this, like this. So I started from this point, so convert the spheres into a polymesh. So once you have this shape, you start playing with the curves, with the coils, and with the thicknesses, and so on, till getting what you like. So the only trick that I can give to you on this about this process, this is a not very complex process, is more a matter of what you like, what you are looking for. But this is the only trick that I can give to you. Well, trick. This is an advice. It's instead of start using the move brush, I use the move topological brush. So you're gonna be able to move almost the coils individually. So you're gonna have more control over the different parts of the mesh. I do this. Start making like this, pushing or pulling the mesh till getting what you are looking for. So till arriving at the shape that you like. In this case is this one. Maybe in this case I'm gonna pull this back a little bit more. I'm gonna leave it a little bit closer to the stone. Oh, I didn't say anything about the measurements. I was thinking about the measurements of the pendant. Of course, the first step to take before move forward, I'm gonna check out the total weight. So I thought that the stone of, I'm gonna select the stone subtool, this one. I'm gonna open this left tray. I'm gonna grab the scale master. The stone, I thought that 14 millimeters, I mean from left to right. So I am saying this is going to be 14 millimeter. I thought that this was a good choice for not a very big pendant, because if I'm thinking about trying to make a high jewelry piece, it's well to don't think about big things, or maybe try to make them as small as possible or as more content as possible. So 14 millimeter, the thing is not going to be too heavy or too expensive in this case. And on C, this is on this direction. Here I have 7 millimeter thickness. Let's see. This is I try to do when I start making sketches or trying to develop an ideas of jewelry pieces. I try to make them as more realistic as possible in terms of the stone sizes, the weight of the metals, the final size of the design. So don't start making just anything what you like, but you need to take into account from the beginning the measurements, the weight, and the proportion of the design. It's, I think in jewelry it's very important. So in total with the body, here I have, remember that I used the transpose line for taking measurements. It's gonna be from the top of the head till the tail. It's just gonna be around 43 millimeters. You can watch it here. You are not allowed to watch it here because it's hidden by the banner. But here I am seeing here the same values, 43.3874. It is millimeter, so 43 millimeters. This is a caliper that I have. It's gonna be more or less something like this. Let's see how weight it is. I'm gonna hide this. How heavy it is. I'm going to make a boolean mesh. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna go to critical metal quotes. I'm gonna. So we have planned to make it, to cast it in yellow gold, 18 carats. We are starting from 18 grams. Okay, this is gonna be. I think it's a good starting point. Of course, during the sculpting process, I'm gonna try to make it lighter. I'm going to try to play a little bit more with the body to make it a little bit lighter than it is now. If we are casting it in 40k gold, this is the price, and we have planned to make it in silver. We're starting making a pendant of 12 grams of silver. I think this is not going to be very heavy to wear. So it's a good starting point. This is one step that I take where I start designing things that I have planned to create or to send it for casting or for manufacture, to start thinking about the weight from the beginning. Because if you are not taking the weight at the beginning, maybe at the end of the process you have made a very cool pendant, a very beautiful pendant, but when you take out the weight, is not going to be possible to cast, or at least in the metal that the customer is requesting to you, or because it's going to be very, very expensive. Okay, so let's go back to the original. The way that I think that I can make the body a little bit lighter, if we think about a snake body, maybe I was using spheres, and I was saying before that you can use a brush that is curved tube snap, and when you are creating tubes, but you are thinking about the body of the snake, it is not a tube. It is more like more something like this, where here you have the spin, here you have the stomach, and I'm gonna try to change the shape of the mesh from here to here, but I'm gonna try to remove a little bit of material here, so till getting more or less something more or less like this. So I'm gonna try to remove this material. So we are gonna try to remove this material here and a bit of material from the sides. So, and I think I'm gonna get a lighter piece. Let's see. So I'm going to use this, the SK cloth brush. The SK cloth that comes from a guy whose name is Sakaki Kaoru. I think he is Japanese. I'm gonna give you his art station. If you are interested on grabbing the brushes that I'm using, is Sakaki. No, this is he has an art station where you can download the brushes. This is Naikaru Sakaki. So you go to his store. Here you can download. You can the brushes that I use. I love them. I only use one, two, three, four brushes from the pack, but all of them they are very cool and very useful in many cases. But today I'm very used to work with his brushes. In this case, I'm going to use this brush, this SK cloth. The SK cloth, what it does is just pushing out the mesh with this alpha, but I prefer to change this alpha from this one to this one to the alpha 39, and I'm gonna try to now I have two subdivisions. I'm gonna add one more because I'm gonna try to start making the body more interesting, trying to make some twist to the body. Yes, Akaki is a very cool artist. Yeah, he creates many manga style figures and sculptures. So I'm gonna start creating this kind of following this, maybe from here should be appear here. I don't like it, so let's start again, and I'm gonna put this. Let's go here. Let's go here. This is going to be this pin or the back. So you can see that we are making some bumps on the stroke. They are not very regular, but don't worry. At this point, this is not going to be important. So I'm going to go in here because this is here. I'm gonna have scales. This is going to be scales like this. Maybe a little bit closer. Like this, and what's in front of the front? Okay, so I'm gonna follow the path here, 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 and going back like this, and going on like this. Let's make it this a little bit smaller, like this, And like this, I'm gonna hide this portion. And there you go. So I don't worry about this part because it's gonna be hidden. It's gonna be the apple is gonna be in front. So this part is not going to be very important. So the important things are going to happen in the front view. So like this. I'm just pulling out the polygons from the face, the vertex from the mesh. Because when we create a new mesh, we're using the series mesh. The series mesh is gonna try to follow the flow of the vertex of the new mesh. So like this, and like this. Yeah, with this, I think this is snake spin. It's when you are creating snakes, it's very important. It gives an extra touch of realism and makes snakes a little bit nicer or more realistic. This, of course, this is not going to be a realistic snake because we are creating a jewelry piece. It's gonna be a more iconographic snake. We are not creating a completely realistic, closer to a realistic snake, but we are gonna change some things about how the real snakes are in reality. So we are not going to create realistic snake scales. So we are creating a jewelry piece. So we need to transform or to create a nice jewelry design. So now I can grab the pinch brush, and I can start pinching the body. Let's correct some curves like this. Let's go to the pinch brush, pinch. We are pinching the mesh. This is what we are doing. If I turn on my polyframe, you can see we are pinching, or I don't know how to say. I think it's well said. Pinching or squeezing, I don't know, the mesh, the polygons. I think I need to. What I see here, this is two parallel. Here I have one curve and here one curve, and almost they go two parallel. I think it will be better if I try to create more something like this. So push this to the left. It's gonna looks better, I think. How can we do this? For example, we can grab H polish. We can start. I like this brush. It's like using a hammer or a sanding tool. So you can start making the curves stronger than before. It's like you are sanding. Many times I don't find the right words in English, excuse me, but I have in my mind what I want to say in Spanish, but I don't find the right word in English. I am thinking about the tool in Spanish, but I don't know how to call it in English. It's when you are sanding or you are grinding tool. It's more something like the tool that you have is, it has, most of the cases, it has this shape. And here you have the, when you are grinding, when you are grinding or you are sanding a surface. Because when I am sculpting, most of the time I am thinking about real tools, real sculpting tools. My mind works like this, so it's the way that I have to select the different brushes. So if I think a brush and I'm thinking about a sanding paper or a sanding machine, I look for the brush that makes something similar than a real tool makes. No questions. Okay, let's follow. No questions. Let's try to work faster. You don't have questions. So you can see that I am twisting, starting twisting the body. And I'm gonna see here the same thing here when I'm watching here at the bottom. Maybe I prefer to follow this path instead of this. So I need to start sanding or grinding this part. So let's go back to the H polish. I think the H polish is here by default. BH H polish. This is a very common brush. What I am doing is the fact that we are watching on the mesh is like we are flattening the mesh, but it's like we are pushing the polygons into one direction. So I'm gonna hide this part. I'm gonna follow here. Something strange is happening here, so a little bit of a smoothing and ready. So same thing here. I'm gonna select only the tail, the end, the tip of the tail. Invert mask. This and like this. I'm trying to create as I said before, the section of the body is gonna be some kind of rhomboid shape. Here, this is gonna be this pin, and this is gonna be the belly. But to avoid to make it too heavy, I'm gonna, instead of making this curve of the belly, I'm gonna try to make more something like this. So the final shape is going to be the final shape that I'm looking for. Let's see if I make it right. I'm gonna try to get this kind of profile. So let's come back to the H polish. Bimari is asking how I did the snake body. I was explaining at the end of the video of the streaming. I was using C-spheres. I started from here, making a C-sphere change when you have the right shape. So you convert it into polymesh, and then you start adjusting the curves and polishing the curves. But the starting point, was C-spheres. You are welcome. So one of the features that I use very often is the polishing tools that you have inside of ZBrush. In this case, I start polishing the mesh. You can see that here the things looks a little bit weird, a little bit strange, and not too perfect, because many imperfections on the surface. But you don't be worried about it, because you can start polishing the mesh. You have to control. You will find the polishing sliders here. You go to deformations. You have the ones that I use is the default polish, the first one, and polish by features, the first two ones. If I don't like the effect from the first one, because you can see that the polishing is a bit of too aggressive, what I do is go to the second, polish by features, and instead of this, keep this open, I close the dot and then start polishing. And what you're gonna start making is you're gonna start relaxing the mesh. So you are gonna start getting nicer surfaces. What pieces of the help from Iran? Why you don't use of new polish brush? I think BFF. I don't understand what you mean. The new polish brush? Which is the new polish brush? You are saying this one? Because if you go to the brushes, you have the H polish, the one that I was using before, and you can go to the polish, and here you have the default polishing brush. This brush is what I call BPF. BBF. No, B. You only need two letters. Brush, polish. I'm sorry, brush and polish. Brush and polish. Now, you are talking about this brush, the polish, default brush, right? This is the brush that I call. This is the, for me, it's like a sand. It's like a sandpaper. When you are, it's the behavior of this brush instead of the H polish. This brush is you can get more smoother transitions. But as I'm looking for more dramatic changes, that's the reason why I choose the H polish brush instead of the default polish brush. So I think this thing is starting to look good. Maybe I'm gonna use the move topology tool again with my back face mask active. I'm gonna start adjusting some parts of the body that I don't like. This is just a moment where I am looking for a good flow. You are noticing that I am not using the default thumbnail that is here on the top left corner. I got it disabled. If I go to preferences and click on top thumbnail, I go here. This is one part that I like to create. Sometimes, in this case, to check the empty spaces. Empty spaces, what I am watching here is like we have here empty spaces. Empty spaces, what I see here, this is, here we have, this is very close. This is a lot of mass there. Maybe if I try to make a little window here, I'm gonna turn this off. No, here is not possible. Maybe push this back here. When you are creating this pendants, snakes pendants, or things, or even any design made by curves, this is a very useful way to see the negative spaces here with thumbnail. I think maybe if I push this, yeah, it looks nice like this. But the problem that I have here is that it's gonna be more difficult to hold this stone. Maybe I can press the stone from this point and from the back point, and it is going to be enough. And adding a bit of air here. Yeah, I like it this. I like this. Maybe more like this. So I can make it this smaller again. I'm gonna save the file. Hey Thomas, you are here. Thank you very much for being here watching my stream. Thanks a lot, Memo, Carlos, and all of the people who are watching how I am working or how I am doing what I am doing. So, next step to take here, once we have, or once I have the pin in place, I'm gonna try follow improving this part a little bit more. Polishing. It's time to start thinking about the belly, the opposite part. So as I said before, I'm gonna try to remove a bit of material, don't making the profile of the snake too thick. So the areas where I can remove a bit of material, of course, is going to be in the backside. So I like how the body flows from the front view. You can see here. Let me know if you think the same or if you don't like it. So this is what I am watching. This is going to be the real flow. This is coming from the front, then goes to the back, then comes to us again from this point. Let's come back here again, and let's come back here and here and here. I like this, the movement of this from the front view. And I'm gonna try to remove a bit of material from the back side. This is the brush that I use, another brush from the SK pack. This is the SK clay fill brush. This is a brush that create very soft transitions. I'm gonna use in a negative fashion. So it's like turning this on or using your Alt key. I'm gonna try to remove this part. It's a little bit smaller, like this. Needs to be more here, like this, here. Okay. Try to remove this part, and this part, and this part. And now I'm gonna use again the escape cloth with the Alt key pressed, and I'm gonna try to pull in the belly like this. I think looks cooler. It's not that I'm just a metaphor creating cool shapes, but in this case, talking about a jewelry piece gonna be good because we are gonna say we are saving weight. And it is going to be, this is going to happen at the back. So it is not going to affect the design from the front view. I mean, this is not going to be very important. So let's come back to this clay fill and start to remove like this. Okay. As I said before, this is going to be the place of the stone. So what is happening here is not going to be very important because the stone is in front. Okay, this is time instead of using the default smooth brush, I'm gonna change the smooth brush by the smooth peaks to try to smooth only the peaks and not destroying this part. Let's come back. Yes, I am removing volume to improve the weight. Yes, it's not. The idea is not create a very quite thick snake, because I was checking the weight before and it was 18 grams of yellow gold, and I'm trying to maybe to remove maybe 2 grams or maybe 1.5, just changing the shape, the profile of the body. Because at the beginning it was a completely a tube, not was a. As this is going to be the end of the tail, this is not going to be so important, because if not, maybe it's going to be too thin. It's going to be maybe too easy to break. And maybe I prefer to leave this a little bit thicker than the rest. So I'm using the back face to fix the areas where the body is not regular. This maybe here I will need to add a little bit more. As this is going to be the end of the idea is to add the loop here on the top. The loop is gonna be there. So in this part, it's not going to be necessary to make this part too thick. If not, we are gonna need to use a very wide loop. It's not gonna look nice, so I think like this. Okay, I think that the body is almost ready. I'm gonna follow. Okay. I'm reading your questions. Were you doing that with an arrow key? I don't know what you mean, Thomas. Were you doing that with an arrow key? Moving the hidden line. Yeah. No. I think that you were saying this. You are asking about, for example, if I grab only the end part of the body, I hide the rest. So if I decide that I need to hide a little bit more, you can go to, let me remember what it was, visibility, and here you have the grow and shrink buttons. You can start shrinking or growing, and here we have the same shortcut like Control Shift S, but I think this is a bit complicated to use. This Control Shift S and Control Shift X, but I prefer to have these buttons here on my custom interface where I can grow or I can shrink the mesh, and that's it. Yeah, very cool, very useful. Moving hidden line. You live with Steph is asking. You said you are saving weight. Who are you saving weight by sculpting the back like that? Yes, I was. The idea was starting from this, on this the very starting point. The snake of the body was like this, and I was trying to do something more like this. So I am removing all of this material on the back, and a little of material here. This is very, very little, but the most important part is gonna be here. What is happening in the back, or that it's gonna be the belly of the snake. That's it. I think. Does it have sense for you? I think. So that's the reason why I was trying to make this part here, trying to pulling in the belly of the snake to try to remove a little material like this, for example. Just a little, but I'm gonna check out now how many I am removing, or in this case maybe it's not gonna be too much because we were talking about the total height of the pendant is gonna be 43 or maybe 40 millimeters. It is not gonna be a very big pendant, but anyway, I'm gonna check it out now. I'm gonna hide this. I'm going to hide this. I'm gonna make the boolean again, and this is I think that I didn't maybe less than 1 gram. Now is we are almost reaching 70.2, and this is the other one. It was 17 point, yeah, almost a gram. I have removed almost a gram of gold. Not too much, but you think about money, it's enough, I think. Thank you. And, hello from Turkey. I was in Turkey one time, in Istanbul. Okay, I think it's time to. I don't want to stay too much time making the same thing over and over again. So it's time to move forward and start thinking about the next step. Yeah, 20 grams of gold. Yeah, because the main body of the design is going to be, of course, we need to be thinking about these two pieces, this part of the apple. I don't know how it calls in English, and the leaf. And the leaf, I'm gonna try, because the leaf here on the surface here have around 7 millimeters wide leaf. Maybe if I go, maybe we are gonna have enough space to make a small pave here. This is what I have in mind, to start creating a small pave here of 1 millimeter stones here. 1 millimeter, maybe 1.5, 1.2, covering the surface of the leaf. So at the end, it's gonna be around 20 grams, maybe. Let's see if we can stay below. I don't know. If the pendant will weigh 1 kilograms, I will be very happy for myself. Why? Because you sell gold. Yeah, gold seller. Yeah, yeah, but it's only 20 grams. I'm sorry. So okay, I'm gonna save. So it's time now to start thinking about the next step is to start making a new topology. I don't gonna today today I'm not going to talk about the snake head, but I think it's quite simple. Maybe I'm gonna talk it later. I found very useful the new feature that the 7 version has, that it's the stager. In this case, for snakes heads, it's very useful tool for snake heads. Yeah. Take notes for the advertising. I'm gonna fix this first, like this. So if I am on in the head, you go to geometry, you go to stager, you can go. I'm gonna click on the solo mode. You can switch to the where you can work in symmetry and you can send the head back to the final position. I found that very, very useful in this case with the head of the snake, because before I was sculpting 100% the snake head, and then when it's ready, then I put it in place. But if I need to retouch or improve anything, I had to start sculpting by hand without symmetry. But with the stager, it's very easy to create a symmetrical position and then send it back to the original anytime you need. So this is very useful new feature from the latest version. Wait, there is a pencil tool feature. A pencil tool feature in ZBrush. Yeah, it's something like a pencil. It's. I think that you are talking about this. This tool comes from the same pack of brushes, but you can do the same thing with this one. The icon is different, but this is the paint brush where you only can paint instead of sculpting. I don't know if you are referring to this or not. As a plugin for Diamond in ZBrush. No, it is not a plugin. It's I use a custom workflow using insert brushes and Nano Mesh. I'm gonna use it for making the pavilion, the leaf. Maybe next Wednesday, or I need to talk with Pixologic. Maybe the next Wednesday is next Wednesday. It's 24, maybe the 29. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make a new stream on the 29th. If so, I will talk about it in my third streaming about this pendant. Okay, let's work. So now it's time to make a new topology. So go into series measure. I try. This is a personal taste. I change this value. Instead of 50, I set it up to 0 to try to get as more regular as possible quads. And let's see, maybe instead of adapt, let's try to make a mesh with a double amount of polygons. Let's click on series measure. Perfect. Looks like the flow. It's good. Okay. This is what I was looking for. To try that the series measure follows the new flow of the body. If you can even improve a little bit more the flow, you can start pinching here and there a little bit more. Start pinching and making a new series measurement. And series measurement is going to try to follow the new vertex flow. That's the reason why I was using the pinch brush. What would make this pendant more amazing is the serpent took something from Eve. Yeah, from Eve you are saying that a woman body, like a lock of hair or something that says, oh, maybe, yeah, it's a good idea. But I was talking about this before. One of the things that I liked about the tattoo that I use as an inspiration, of course, it was the idea to convert the apple into a hand curve using the apple, changing the apple to a hand curve stone. I don't know which kind of stone, but a red color stone. And another idea that I like is the idea that the snake is facing the person who is wearing the pendant. So you can figure out that the person is the Eva that is missing on the design is the girl or the man who is wearing the pendant. That's the reason why the snake is trying to bite at the people who is wearing the pendant. That's another concept that I liked about this design. How can we calculate volume of important mesh from CAD software? The same thing with the same plugin. Anything you can, for example, if I get a sphere, we convert it into polymesh. Let's make it bigger because this is a very tiny sphere. Anything that you imported inside of ZBrush, you can go to the plugin I was using, the Kitco metal quotes, and clicking on the get metal quotes. Here we have the grams, and also here we have the measurements here, and here you have the volume, milliliters and cubic centimeters. And of course you have all of the weights in different metal. This is a very cool and very useful plugin for jewelers that Thomas was developing with Pixologic. Very, very useful. Okay, let's come back here where I am. Here, okay. Now it's time to start making polygroups because as I said before, the way that I'm gonna create the scales on the body flowing over the body, it's going with the UV mapping, creating a seamless or tileable scales pattern and apply that pattern with the noise maker. This is the workflow that I'm gonna use. The silo is very important for volume control. Yeah. Yeah, virtually is that's the reason why I was checking the volume first before I start making anything. But as I said before, this is not a very big pendant. I'm watching now. Maybe if I turn this is gonna look even better. What do you think? What do you think? Looks better like this or like this? Maybe it looks more interesting if you don't put too many vertical lines or parallel lines on your designs. Maybe you can break the design into different lines. It looks nicer, that's my opinion. Maybe like this looks better, I think. Found that Kitco to be very temperamental even with closed mesh. What do you mean with temperamental? I don't know what does it mean, this word. Or I don't know what is the concept that you want to say with that word. Temperamental or unstable? Yeah, temperamental. Yeah, I know what it. Found quick, very temperamental, open with closed mesh. I don't know what do you mean? Not working. Any method of increased thickness of surface. I'm from Spain. Jaén Herrera Castañeda. I'm from Spain. From as far as I know, I didn't have any problems with the Kitco Metal Quartz plugin. Maybe depending on the kind of mesh that you are trying to weight, maybe in some cases, of course, the mesh needs to be completely watertight, completely closed, a mesh. But if you take these two fixing methods, the first method that you can take, if you find that the Kitco Metal Quote doesn't work, first step to take is clicking on Close Holes button. You will find it here. Go into Geometry, Modify Topology, Close Holes. Close holes, try it again. If it still doesn't work, you can go to calling the gizmo, clicking and in the gear and remesh by union. And after making a remesh by union, this is just my personal preferences. Coming back again to the close holes and tap it again. Close holes and now check it out again. If it still doesn't work, I think that it's gonna work, but if it still doesn't work, make a Dynamesh. And that's it. And another thing that you can do, and another extra step that you can take is going to the mesh and clicking, going to the split, and going to a split two parts, because maybe some tiny parts are floating inside of the mesh that they are almost invisible, but it's the reason why the plugin is not able to read or the whole volume of the mesh. So close holes, remesh by union, Dynamesh, or split two parts. I think with these four fixing methods, I think it should work. I think. Yeah, and of course, try to download the latest version. But the version that I already have here in style, it was the original version. I think. I think yes. It's not the latest. But that's maybe the reason why I don't think that the main problem is going to be the version. Yeah, coplanar surfaces. They could, of course, when you are trying to wait files imported from CAD softwares, maybe you can have more problems than meshes that you has been created inside of ZBrush. It's my personal opinion. It doesn't like one face will make it. Yeah. Okay, so let's follow. Let's close this and let's come back to the body. And it's time to start creating polygroups. So I'm gonna need I'm going to need 3 polygroups. The first polygroup that I make when I'm making snakes is the neck, a polygroup on the neck. So what I do is control drag, following just the tip of the neck. Let's come back in the opposite direction like this. Control W, and here we have. Let's change the color. Okay, so here I have one polygroup. So Control Shift and click, tap on the body to hide that little cap that we made on the neck, and I'm gonna make this. I need now 2 different polygroups. I need a polygroup of the maybe of the back of the snake, and another polygroup for the belly. So if we were talking before, now we are making a profile of a snake like this. So I will need 2 different polygroups. One polygroup from here to here, and another polygroup from here to here. 2 polygroups. It's like split the body in 2 parts. So this is going to be the back, and this is going to be the belly part and the back part. The scales are going to be here on the top, and on the belly we are going to make kind of scales like this. Yeah, of course, you can import STL or OBJs in ZBrush. Just going to the tool and clicking on the import button. Okay, I can import anything while the mesh is partially hidden, so Control Shift, import, and here you can import many types of files. Here you have STL or OBJs. No problem. So let's try to make a topological mesh. Let's see if we can make it automatically. Almost. almost. This is the back, this is the back, this is going to be the front, this is going to be the front. No, I think that it's gonna be, I prefer to make it manually. So what I do is make the polygroups manually with the mask. So control, I like to set up the focal shift to -100. Gonna turn on my lazy mouse, lazy steps to 0, and I'm gonna start painting. Maybe I'm gonna divide a little bit one more time. Just try to get that cleaner. Like this. This is going to be the back. This is going to be the belly. Till the end. Here. Let's follow here. Where is the front? The front is here. Okay. We said before. Okay, this is going to be a bit lost. Whereas, so this is going to be the body. If I follow this line. If I follow this line, no, doesn't work, so it needs to be here. Till here. And let's go down. Let's go down. Maybe I need to go even more closer to the edge here. This is going to be the path of the bottom part of the body. So let's follow going here. It's like here. Let's try to merge these two lines here at this point. Here and oh, I have a problem here. Let's try to separate this. No, it's not. Shit. Maybe I have here a welding point here. This is not good. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix it later. I'm gonna try to fix it later. Lots of other, yeah, Nano Mesh would look great on it too. I'm gonna use. I prefer. I think it's not good to say never, but maybe never. I use Nano Mesh for scales, for snakes. I always use UV mapping and noise maker with a custom tileable scales pattern. I'm gonna show you how to create very easily snake patterns inside of ZBrush with an external plugin. It's a plugin called Okay, this is it already used Nano Mesh. This is a Nano Tile texture plugin. That's the plugin that I use for create any necessary tileable or seamless maps. In this case, scales. So here we have the mask of the polygroup. Maybe I can make it like this, following the flow of the body. Snakes are always tricky. So looks like they are simple. It looks like almost like a tube with a head, and that's it. But if you try to create a nice snake with a beautiful scales pattern or whatever in a ring, pendant, whatever, always it's they are always tricky to make. And here I am trying to show you not the easiest way to do the thing, so try or at least because at the end of the process it works, because maybe we are adding value to the design, and of course trying to avoid to create too much cat looking symmetrical, perfect, and I don't know, artificial finishing when you are creating jewelry designs with a digital tool like ZBrush. You can see many designs of the snakes made with other softwares or even with ZBrush, but it looks too digital, I think. Extractor. Oh no, the extractor brush. I never use it. I was using it during the beta testing, but I think few cases I use it, and even I'm not very familiar. I need to remember how it works, but I don't use it very often. The extractor brush. Okay, here we have a problem because during the series measure process, when I click on the series measure, as the two surfaces was in contact, the series measure makes a boolean between the two surfaces. I don't know why, but it happened. How can I split them again like this? You can see here the sim exactly. I'm gonna try to okay, first thing that I'm gonna make is to try to don't lose the mask that I paint. I'm going to use the shortcut Ctrl W. I'm gonna create a new polygroup. So the mask or the polygroup is there, and I'm gonna use the select lasso to try to create a little gap here. Like this. Of course, I don't need this part. I don't need this part as well. I can make a finer selection here, and here the same thing here, same thing here. Whoop, like this, and like this, like this, like this, So we have to, now I can, using the same feature as before, start growing, grow, and let's say grow again. There is still a gap. Let's check it out with the move topology brush. Let's say I can't, maybe, no, they are in contact. Let's shrink it, shrink. Now I can, let's grow, nope, like this. And now I can delete hidden. Of course, I have subdivisions. I'm gonna get rid of the subdivisions. So delete hidden and close holes. And now here on the close holes, here I have the two covers, or the two, I don't know how to say it, is, yeah. And let's click on auto groups. Or, oh, it's not going to be necessary to make an auto group. So I need to regroup this and this all into one polygroup. Control W, and no, okay. I'm going to try to fix this a little bit. I still need to make a new topology. That's the reason why I don't care about this weird topology that I have here, because I still need to make a new series measure. So let's hide this part. Okay, no, let's paint this. Sambora is asking, would be easier to block out the snake first using C modeler in different polygroups? Yeah, could be a good idea, but the method that I use is like you are looking for a complex flow of the body. When you are twisting the body, you are start making S's, different S's, from the front view, from the side views, from the different views, and start twisting the body of the snake. So, or at least for me, I am saying, this is my personal opinion. At least for me, is trying to get it so clear in your mind that you're gonna be able to start building your C modeler extrusion following the exactly path that you are gonna like. For me, I think it's gonna be very difficult, because you are start extruding or making polygroups, and at the same time you are start creating different S's on different flows of the body. I find it very, or this for me, very difficult to create. For me, it's much better to develop the language or the flow of the body with CS spheres. Then when I have the mesh, start working with the move brush till getting the right shape, and then I can take the step forward and start making the polygroups and so on. So I think, in my opinion, you're going to spend too much time using the C modeler to do the snake body. If you are making a simple snake body, you can go ahead with this process, with that process. But in this case, I think could be a bit complicated. And Newman is asking, any string on bas low relief? Yes, of course. I think the next one is going to be about bas reliefs. I have planned to make this string about bas reliefs, but I changed my mind, because I love to create snakes. But I love to make bas reliefs as well. So next stream I'm gonna start planning which is gonna be the relief that I'm gonna use for the next stream. Good technique to separate the two surfaces. Yes, this is gonna for creating. I don't know if you are talking about the surfaces, about how to splitting the parts, or to split the body into two different polygroups. So I'm gonna follow. Let's try to make it faster, because for example, till here, till the end of the tail. Going down here, here, and now I can. Now I have a problem here, so I can hide this part. Hide this a little bit more. Okay, and now I can join the two polygroups together. Control W. Now I need to merge this polygroup, Shift with this polygroup. Here we have a group of polygons here floating on the space. So now I can use, instead of Control W, click on Auto Groups, hide this one, invert, Control W now. Now I have one polygroup and another polygroup. No, 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 no. You still have here one problem. Again, Auto Groups, hide this one, invert, Control W now. Now let's change the color. Now I have the polygroups. Okay. Now I have the polygroups. Now let's try smoothing the border between the two polygroups. Now for that I'm gonna use the Smooth Groups brush to start trying to make it more straight, because it's gonna be better for the series measure. Just a quick touch. And now it's time to, I'm gonna save this as a backup. Let's take a duplicate. Let's come back to series measure. Let's try to create the same amount of polygons with adaptive type to 0, keeping the groups. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Let's come back now with the half. There you go. Perfect. Let's apply some polishing to start relaxing the mesh. And here I have the two polygroups. So this is the orange. The back, the pink polygroup is gonna be here. We are gonna have this texture on this polygroup, and on this polygroup we are gonna have the scales flowing, following the shape of the curves of the body. It's time to save. Okay, now it's time. Maybe we only have 10 minutes, or maybe a bit more, because I need to end the stream before the next streamer. So I don't want to have problems with that. But anyway, let's fix this a little bit. Let's make this close. Let's put this closer. Because as I said before, the idea is that the snake body is squeezing, is holding the stone without the needing of any kind of prongs or aid for the stone setting. I'm gonna use the polishing brush, to start the polishing. So I'm gonna start to talk about how to make the seamless or the tileable snakes pattern, scales pattern. I gather some references of different patterns, because we're gonna make different versions. I have found some of them that for me looks interesting, like this one. I like this one because it's something more like a kind of more geometrical pattern like this. it's something like this. But that I like about this one is watching from the, because it's this kind of little shadow that you have here. Looks like we are gonna have something more like this. And I found that interesting, the pattern that you have here. That is something like you are getting more something like this, the pattern that you get with this kind of scales. This you can see here very clearly here. But I'm gonna try to replicate this pattern. I'm gonna try to replicate this one as well. That it is more something like this. It is more something like this. It is not like a regular snake head. As I said before, it's not the objective or the idea is not to create a very realistic. So try to add to the design an extra body of the design on the pattern of the snakes. So making something like this, something more like cutted is scales like this. Another one that I found interesting. This one is very similar from the first one, and another one that I found interesting. Maybe in this one is gonna be more difficult to cast and to polish because the pendant, as I said before, is around 40 millimeters. It's more or less something like this. It's gonna be small, but the pattern that I like about this kind of scales is. But anyway, we're gonna replicate the three. This looks like more like something like this, and it has a kind of bevel here. It's something. It has something a kind of bevel here, which is something like kind of a step here in this part, or maybe with a little point here. I don't know if it has a kind of point or something. Okay, so we're gonna try to replicate the three versions. This one, and this one. With the same process, using the Nano Tile. Uh, Life with Steph is asking what resource I typically use to find references. Pinterest. I always go to Pinterest. The Pinterest is the place that where I fish. You go. You have many different references of snakes, many different things, or at least the faster way to find good references. Of course, if you find one image that it's interesting for you, you click on the image, it redirect to you. They send to you to the original post. The post could be web for jewelry design. Then you will find one place that you don't know. Then you start to investigating. So the starting point is Pinterest. So I'm gonna explain to you how to use that. For this, I'm gonna use this plugin. This plugin is, I'm gonna open this, my left tray, is the Nano Tile texture plugin. It is a plugin that you can get it for free. You go to the Pixologic website. If you go to Pixologic, it's a fantastic plugin that Joseph Trust developed. So community, let me think about it. Or support. Oh, support resources. Sorry, support resources. Go to ZBrush plugins and scrolling down. It is not. Here you have also the Kitco metal quotes, and here you have the Nano Tiles texture plugin. Easy to find and download and install. So what I do is I'm gonna create first. Let's start first with the with, I don't know, maybe with this one. Maybe, yeah, maybe with this one. This is going to be the easiest, or maybe the fastest. So the first step to take is to start creating your Nano Mesh. This is a plugin which combines many different features inside of ZBrush, some of them quite old features, and a Nano Tile a system. So I'm gonna start from a cube. Let's create from a polymesh. Let's squeeze it a little bit. Let's rotate it 40 degrees. Let's make it a little bit more like this. I'm gonna group by normals to differentiate different faces. Now I'm gonna series measure. Let's double tap the size, keep groups. Now I have the series measure. Let's some polishing. Maybe if I'm looking for more rounded edges, or maybe if I divide it and polish it now, maybe like this. And let's use this as a starting point. Let's divide it one more time to get even a little bit a smoother surface. So now let's go to the Nano Tiles. I prefer to create a template of 4 rows by 4 columns. So I set this to 4 and create new tile tool. So ZBrush will give you a template like this. Here we have a fast explanation about what do you have to do with the Nano Mesh panel, blah blah blah. You can read it if you're interested. Let's click escape it. I'm gonna zoom out this a little bit. I recommend to you to don't use the 3D zooms or 3D panning or moving options. Use the buttons related to the canvas, not to the model. So next time is select the Z modeler, select a face, spacebar, insert Nano Mesh, all polygon. Which Nano Mesh do we want to use? Is the M and the mesh we were creating before, this one. So you can drop them, and now you can go to the Nano Mesh, and you can start playing with the settings, with the different settings. So let's click on rotation. This setting needs to be 90, and they need to be a little bit angle. They are flat, parallel to the surface. Rotation in this axis is going to be maybe 20. It's going to be enough. And this is when comes the tricky part, or the most important part about this kind of seamless pattern when you are creating a scales pattern. So you need to go to H tile, set this to 2, B tile 2 as well, and click it on the grid distribution, change from grid to checkered odd. And here we have the new distribution. Now it's time to make it bigger, and there you go. Of course, we can still be playing with the different settings. For example, maybe it looks like that the scales are too narrow. Maybe I prefer to make it a little bit wider. Not this one, maybe this one. This is the thing that I love about this plugin, because the possibilities are endless. Because as you are using a Nano Mesh, you can play with many different settings, achieving different results. And no, not this one. Maybe with the length, like this. And maybe the rotation, maybe let's put 30. Not that much, maybe 25. And maybe with the height like this, maybe 25 is too much, maybe 23. Let me check this out. Maybe I have to correct, because I don't like this tip that is here. Will be better to connected to vertex. So, and we can fix this with the size of this with this parameter, not with this one, like this. And maybe like this, and maybe with the length, or like this. Looks cool as well, I think. Yeah, something like this. And once you are happy with the results, okay, when you're happy with the result, of course, on the next stream, I'm going to be streaming the next Wednesday. I'm going to start from here again, reviewing, repeating all the steps, because I'm going to try to create different patterns for the scales. So that's the reason why I'm making now a little bit fast. But once you're happy with the distribution, how it looks like, the last step to take is going to alpha. There is another way to do the same thing, but just for my personal tastes, I prefer to use this way. So you can go to alpha, transfer, and grab duck. And there you go. You have your seamless scales pattern. I have one. I'm going to export it. Keep it safe. This is going to be C grab scales 1, for example. ZBrush is going to save a PSD file. And another thing that I'm going to show you, this very cool thing about this process, is because if you at any time you want to change the shape of the mesh and get a completely different pattern, a scales pattern, you can get into the edit mesh, and now here you can start playing with this. And maybe what can I do if I hide this polygroup, if I shrink it, mask it, invert the mask, blur the mask, tap here, and we can start adding some stepping here. Or instead of this, let's store morph target first, like this. And now I'm gonna morph target. I'm gonna create a kind of, I'm gonna turn off the polyframe, and here you can see what we are doing. Let's smooth this a little bit. Smooth, polish. Turn off again edit mesh, and here we have another completely different snake pattern with a variation of the original scale. So let's come back to the edit mesh again. Maybe I can make it more rounded, like this. Like this, and maybe I can push this a little bit on top. Okay. Well, I'm making more, looks like more a dragon scale instead of a snake, but okay, it's just for making an example. Like this, and edit mesh, and now you can come back again to your alpha grab dock, and now you have the version number 2 of the alpha. I'm gonna save this as well. Export. This is going to be the scales number 2. Number 2. And next step to take is coming back to the same plugin, and here you have a button where you can restore the canvas size. We can come back, and I'm going to show you, because for today I'm not going to have enough time to explain how to apply the scales to the snake body. So well, I'm gonna make it next week. So, but just for showing to you that this is a completely seamless pattern. For example, okay, let's grab a plane. So we can now the last step to take is to apply the simplest pattern we just created to the mesh. So the way to do this is going to the surface noise, click it on the bottom left corner to load the PSD file we just created. For example, the number one. This is my personal way of working. I prefer to change instead of playing with this, because if I start working with this parameter, you can see nothing happen or starts happening strange things. I prefer to change the color from white to black. You can see you start watching the scales. I prefer to set the mix basic noise to 0, and now you can start adjusting the image with this. You can see it's a completely tileable pattern. So once you are happy, you can click OK. I'm gonna add some resolutions to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 million. So the idea is to now to convert the color into a mask. Clicking here, mask by noise, and now you can push the surface in any direction, and now you have this surface. This is the process that we are going to use. We are going to make the same thing but with the snake body. Of course, first it's going to be necessary to create a UV mapping of the mesh of the snake to apply the pattern to the snake of the body and make it flowing along the body from the beginning till the end. Thank you. If I can make it faster, because it's always maybe I can be here talking to you. Okay, let's try to make it fast. I don't know, make things fast. Normally sometimes it doesn't work, but let's try. So you have the body selected. Let's go to the UV master, make a clone, and grab the mesh, flatten the mesh. Here we have two different islands from the two different. I'm gonna put it straight. You are here and you are here, for example, and flatten. Now we have the UV. We have UVs. Let's go now to the noise. Let's load the pattern, the scales, repeating the same operation as before. Set this to white, to black. I'm sorry. Of course, you need to change from 3D to UV. Mix basic noise to 0, and start adjusting and there you go. Here we have the scales flowing all the curve. Of course, when you are applying the noise, we are going to ignore. We are going to hide this because we are only applying this polygroups. But I'm going to make different tests with different scale patterns, because, and it is going to be a small piece. I don't want to lose the scales detail during the polishing part. So trying to make a easy to polish and easy to finishing scales pattern, or at least try to make it. Maybe it's not going to be possible, but here I have a kind of problem. I can flatten this down again. Maybe I can. One another cool thing that you can do here is that you can start start adjusting a little bit the curves, because we have too many curves, and some of them are very closed curves. Yep, it's saving. So yeah, you can see we are stretching the mesh, so it's time to start fixing or trying to. I think almost works everywhere till less here on the neck. Yeah, I will try to fix it. Kiran, do you like using noise instead of applying Nano Mesh? Yes, always. I always use the UV mapping process and surface noise with the scales. I don't like to use uh, the the Nano Mesh, or you can use the new feature. It comes from not the latest version, from the version before the latest version. It was the 6th version. That is the I don't remember. This is the series measure. I don't remember where it was. It's the something like Nano Mesh, something similar. Do you like that? For me, it's easier because I think that I have more control. Because when you are using Nano Mesh, when you have all of your Nano Meshes in place and you transform what you are watching on your canvas into real geometry, you have millions of small pieces that needs to be booleaned together. In many cases, you're going to have problems, or in other cases not. But depending on okay, maybe the answer could be depending on the design that you are doing. In some cases, will be easier to use Nano Mesh, and in other cases will be easier to use the noise maker, depending on the kind of design that you are doing. I've always some paranoia that there is some geometry left over. What do you mean, Ferenc? You have a paranoia that there is some geometry left over. I don't know. Yeah, because maybe with ZBrush, when you are handling millions of polygons, maybe some of them are so tiny that are almost impossible to see or to recognize that something is not working due to a portion of the mesh that doesn't work. I don't know if you are saying that or not. So, but for example, here I have a problem here on the neck. I need to fix this flow on the neck because this is a very narrow or very closed corner curve that we have here. That's the reason why it's difficult to adapt the scales well here in this part. There isn't any problem with the rest of the body, even in the tail, because here you can see the tails, the scales are flowing good here, almost till the end, but the rest of the body is going well. But maybe I will need to fix this part because it doesn't look good. And Berlisa was asking before, what is the process I follow to lower the cost of your pendant before it goes to production? Okay, there are many ways. As I was making before, try to things as thin as possible, hollow if it's possible, and during the sculpting process, during the designing process, as I am doing now, checking the weight during the process. So, because if you are designing a pendant and you like what you are getting, before moving forward, go to your Kitco metal quote, check the weight. If you are in a good weight, now you can follow with your design. But if you are watching that the weight at the beginning of the process is too high, maybe you need to change your mind and start making things thinner or removing some parts of the design. I don't know. There are many ways to do it. Live with stuff with pendants, do you have to hollow them out before sending them? Yeah. Most of the time, for example, when the customer is requesting to me a design that it's gonna be cast in gold, I can say in 90% of the cases needs to be hollow inside. Many people wants to spend a lot of money. Some people likes the heavy gold, heavy, really heavy gold designs. But if you are making gold designs, it's much better to make them hollow. But if you are making, for example, a ring, you are gonna cast it in silver. The weight is not so important. It's more important in terms of when you put the ring on your finger, that it is comfortable. It is not too heavy. For example, you are going to move your hand and the ring is going to fly out from your finger. So because it's too heavy. So, but the cost is not so, it's not so important than when you are making gold designs. When you're making gold designs like we are making now, you need to be careful about the weight during the whole process, checking that everything is in a good weight, in a good weight. That plugin gives you weight. Yes, is the weight in wax or in a specific material? Kiran Riali. I don't know if I am pronounced your name well. Kitco, you go here. You have the weight in different kind of metals: titanium, stainless steel, silver, platinum, palladium, gold, different carats. I don't know if it's carats or I don't know how to say it. Quilates in Spanish. Rose, yellow, and here you have the volume. You want to calculate the weight in another material, for example, in wax or resin or whatever. Very useful plugin for jewelers. Yes, all of them, and all of them, and nearby you will find the cost in dollars, depending on the price of each specific metal. But what I normally watching, this is the most common question that I receive or I receive to make a custom design. When I start developing a design, the customer is requesting to me, I want a design with these things. For example, a snake with whatever. In this case, I'm looking for a snake I'm looking for start designing a snake pendant with an apple, something like we are doing today. But when I sculpting the design, I create all the scales. The pendant on the design looks very cool, beautiful. The customer loves the design, how it looks like. But the main question comes: what is the weight? Which is the weight? So, is the weight is too high or is more than he have expected? I need to change the things again, maybe in some cases to redesign again the whole design to make it lighter. So you need to know the weight or the average weight from the beginning of the designing process when the customer is going to cast the design in gold. So which is the weight? So this is the one a question that I hate with, because if the weight is too high, I need to make it lighter. And some cases to make it lighter means change the design or come back to a previous how many steps from the beginning to rebuild some parts of the design or change some part of the designs or even remove parts of the designs. So this is a very common question. Yeah, the weight. So that's the reason why, as I like to know the weight when I receive a commission, I prefer to know if exists an average weight or the design should be below that grams. So during the designing process or in the sculpting process, I'm checking the weight during the process. And knowing that at the end of the process, I can make it hollow if necessary. So I can save more weight if possible. But in some designs, it's not going to be possible. For example, to make this thing hollow, yeah, we can do it, but I don't know. But you need to start from the beginning of the designing process, because change the design during the middle of the process, you're gonna waste a lot of time. Yeah, so just to stay for a pendant, because for example, if we're talking about gold, if we always stay below 20 grams, or even if you can stay below 15 grams, it's okay. Maybe 30 grams, a lot of money. You can see here, this is 18K gold. It's almost $700 only for the snake. You need to add the cost of the stone, the cost of the pave, and the cost of the leaf, and this part of the process. So maybe you start reaching maybe $1,000 for manufacturing the design. Talking about the material cost, you need to add the the I don't know how to say it, the handwork for the workers, for the people who is the guy who is gonna set the stones, the guy who is gonna print it, the guy who is gonna cast it, the guy who is gonna polish it and finish it, who is gonna set the stone. So you're gonna start adding and adding different cost. So you're gonna get a quite expensive design. Well, depending on the market, of course, too, on the client that wants to pay. And I should put a diamond in this next mouth. I think no, because as I said before, I like the idea that the snake is biting the person who is wearing the snake. So hasn't sense, maybe, in my opinion, in terms of design, of the idea of the design. Maybe put little stones of the eyes. Okay, we can go ahead with that. But on the mouth, why is it having a stone on the mouth? Because he is in an aggressive mood. The snake are trying to bite the person who is wearing the pendant. So I don't know. Maybe I can put here one stone here, a pair of stone here, here, maybe, and the eyes, and of course a pave here covering the whole leaf surface. Now maybe it would be even cooler if I have the possibility to put a transparent stone or semi-transparent stone, high polished surface. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of you who has been here following my stream. Next Wednesday, I will follow with this design. So we will following with the texture of the body, of the scales, the back part, and we will jump maybe to the leaf and start talking about making the pave, because this is just a sketch. I need to check if I like the flow of the leaf. If maybe I'm gonna change something, but like as it is now, I like it. But maybe we can change anything and start planning fine the pave on the surface for the leaf, and till getting the design completely finished. I was having different ideas about the chain. This is the loop with the chain, something like chain, and I was talking different things. For example, like a cord something like this, but doesn't look like for high jewelry. Maybe putting a core there, maybe, I don't know, or a thin, very thin chain, or maybe adding something like this. So instead of putting a veil or a loop that holding the the chain, it's like giving different. Sometimes I don't find the right words in English. Trying to make a knot or trying to surround the snake body with the chain. Maybe something like this. I don't know. Okay, so again, thanks to all of you. And if you want to see more of my work, as I said in the beginning of the streaming, you can go to my webpage, nachoriesco.com. Here you will find all of my social media links. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. So, and you can leave your comments on the video. So I will ask whatever you need, and subscribe. Okay, so yeah, the back before I left, the back is still something like this. I still think a little bit about the back because this stands too far from the surface of the stone. I think I should make it a little bit more flattened on the back. I still need to think more about the back of the stone. Yeah, the back is one of the most important things on jewelry designs. Okay, so thank you very much, and hopefully I see you on my next stream. Next Wednesday is the 22nd, and take care. Bye.